in further developments in the case of murdered Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. A Turkish newspaper has published X-ray images of the suitcases carried by the Saudi hit squad, which carried out the killing in Istanbul last month. And the White House National Security Advisor John Bolton also suggested that audio recordings of the killing do not implicate the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So let's go live to Jamal Al-Shayal. He's outside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. First of all, what do these X-ray images show?
Well, Mariam, this is the latest bit of evidence that the Turkish authorities have decided to release, and they show some of the baggages that were being carried on by members of that hit squad the day Jamal Khashoggi was murdered, when they fled essentially the crime scene, leaving Ataturk International Airport in Istanbul. In those images, they show syringes, they show stun gun, they show, or taser rather, they show jamming devices used to jam communications in a specific area in an immediate radius. They show closed circuit communication devices. So whilst they don't show the actual weapon that is believed to to dismember Jamal Khashoggi's body, the presence of those syringes, for example, do fall in line with the narrative that we had broken after spoken to certain sources close to the investigation earlier on, Mariam, which spoke of Jamal Khashoggi being injected shortly after he was descended upon by several of those intelligence operatives. Whether that injection was a lethal one or one to subdue him before he was essentially dismembered, that still hasn't been established. But it's significant, Mariam, here, which it shows that the Turks have not released all the information they have, even though they have shared those audio recordings of what happened with foreign intelligence operatives. Now, with regard to the John Bolton statement, very quickly, obviously he's the national security advisor, he's Trump's right-hand man when it comes to issues of this. Now, he first claims that he never heard recordings, which is strange considering that the CIA chief herself has heard. But he says, according to people who heard it, they don't necessarily, as you mentioned there, implicate Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Why has he chosen to refute that and double down on Trump's man in Riyadh? Well, because the latest reports say that according to Turkish intelligence officials, Maher Mutrib, who was the chief of this hit squad, essentially made several phone calls on the day Khashoggi was killed, amongst them to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's personal secretary. In one of those phone calls, he told the personal secretary what translates into, according to them, tell your boss the deed is done or the operation is being completed. We obviously need to hear the exact words chosen in Arabic, but that is the translation that we've been told through sources here. And obviously, if you're talking to a secretary, personal secretary of somebody, the reference of your boss would imply the person he reports to here, namely Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Obviously, a lot of questions still being asked, but what is significant about these two latest developments, Mariam, is that one, it shows the Turkish authorities haven't released all they have. Possibly they will continue doing so to pressure the Saudis to cooperate and own up to what they do. But more importantly, Ankara says it's still waiting for justice to be served, and that could only happen once the Saudis admit to who ordered the killing of Jamal Khashoggi.
Thank you very much from Istanbul, Jamal Al-Shayal.